I knew I'd made a mistake when Barbara wrinkled her nose and said, "Did you really use canned beans?" "No, thank you." "No, smells amazing." Just that. "My name's Eric. I'm 44. I live outside of Raleigh, North Carolina. And for almost 10 years, I hosted every holiday, cookout, and Sunday dinner for my wife Dana's family, by default. Nobody ever asked. They just assumed it'd be at our house, and I'd be behind the grill. And at first, I didn't mind. Honestly, I kinda liked it. There was something about a full house, meat sizzling on the smoker, music playing, cold beers in the cooler. It felt good. I took pride in it. I'd go all out, every time. Ribs, brisket, burgers, scratch-made sides, decorated the backyard, even built a custom pergola just to keep folks comfortable. I was that guy, the one who made it all happen. But slowly, and I mean real slow, like a frog boiling in a pot, it started changing. Compliments stopped. Nobody offered to bring anything. Then came the critiques. Barbara, my mother-in-law, turned nitpicking into an Olympic sport. One time I made chili for a fall party and she said, a little heavy on the cumin, don't you think? I wanted to ask her when the hell she became a Food Network judge, but I kept my mouth shut. Quick note, before listening, share which city or country you're watching from. Then Sean, Dana's brother, started treating my place like a damn restaurant. He'd show up with random coworkers or friends without warning. No text, no heads up. Just, hope it's cool, man. And apparently it was, because Dana never said a word. She'd just smile, pour them wine, and act like it was no big deal. The worst part, nobody offered help. I was on the grill, checking oven timers, refilling drinks, taking plates, scrubbing pans, all while they sat around like royalty. Dana? She was too busy catching up with her sister Melissa, or helping Barbara rearrange my spice rack for easier access. One Sunday I pulled a 12-hour smoked pork shoulder. Thing looked like something out of a magazine. And all Barbara said was, "Bit dry in the center, isn't it?" Melissa chimed in with, "Next time you should try my boyfriend's rub recipe. His is juicier." Nobody asked how long it took. Nobody asked if I needed help cleaning up. They just ate, picked it apart, and left me with a pile of greasy pans and an empty trash bin. And Dana? She kissed me on the cheek and said, "They're just being themselves, babe." Yeah, that was the problem. That Christmas I went all in. I started prepping 3 days ahead, smoked a 12-pound brisket overnight, low and slow, the way it's meant to be done. Made cornbread from scratch, 2 types of mac and cheese, roasted carrots, real mashed potatoes, not that boxed crap Barbara always kept in her pantry. Even hung string lights through the backyard trees, wrapped the deck railing in garland, fire pit crackling like a Hallmark movie. I wanted it to be perfect. Not for them, for me, to prove I could do it better than anyone. They showed up 40 minutes late. No warning, no apology. Just loud voices, stomping boots, and Barbara hollering from the front door. "We had to circle the block. Your street's a nightmare." Sean strutted in behind her with 3 people I'd never seen before. Didn't even say their names. Just hope it's cool, like this was some frat party and not my home. They headed straight for the drinks. I held it together, told myself to just get through the meal. Barbara dropped her purse on my counter and pointed at the mashed potatoes. "Did you use whole milk?" she asked, poking them with a serving spoon like she was inspecting garbage. "They look a little stiff." Melissa came in holding a plastic grocery bag, grinning. "Don't worry, I brought dessert." She pulled out a store-bought pumpkin pie and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "At least this will taste decent." Dana laughed. Not awkwardly, not nervously, just laughed, like it was cute. I stood there, holding a carving knife, heart pounding in my ears. They acted like I was the hired help, like none of it mattered. The prep, the money, the hours. I looked around that kitchen, my kitchen, and didn't see a single face that gave a damn about any of it. So I stopped. I set the knife down, walked to the back door, and unplugged the lights. Every last one. Walked back to the grill and shut it down cold. Then I reached behind my neck, untied my apron, and dropped it on the counter like I was clocking out. No announcement, no big speech. Just, I'm done hosting, forever. The room froze. Dana looked stunned, like I'd slapped her. Barbara's mouth dropped open. Sean actually paused mid-pour on his whiskey. Melissa scoffed but said nothing. "Wait, what?" Dana asked, stepping closer. "Eric, come on. What are you talking about?" I looked her dead in the eye. "I said I'm done. I motioned to the food, the decorations, the whole circus, is over." Barbara jumped in, hands up. Now, let's not be dramatic. You think this is dramatic? I cut her off. I've been cooking for you people for 10 years. 10 years of meals, cleaning, hauling furniture around for seating, smoking ribs in July heat, and all I get is complaints. Melissa rolled her eyes. Oh my God. Are you really making a scene right now? You made the scene the second you walked in with that frozen-ass pie. I shot back. Sean tried to play peacemaker. Look, man, we didn't mean anything by it. Everyone's just joking around, I pointed at him. Bringing half your office to my house without telling me isn't a joke. It's disrespect. Dana put a hand on my arm. Can we just eat and talk about this later? No, I said. You had 10 years to talk about it. Then I walked to the fridge, grabbed a cold beer, and walked out the front door. Just like that. No door slam, no yelling. Just silence behind me. And for once, it felt earned. Let them figure out the rest. I was done playing chef, maid, and punching bag. I didn't even make it to the end of the driveway before my phone started blowing up. First, it was Dana. Come back. Please don't do this right now. You're embarrassing me. Then Barbara chimed in with a wall of texts about family traditions, how I was being selfish, and something about the meaning of Christmas. Sean followed up with a half-assed, "Yo, that wasn't cool, man." By the next morning, the group chat was lit up like Times Square. Melissa was in it too now. You're being cold. None of it was serious. We were joking. I didn't respond. I waited. 2 days later, Dana said we needed to talk. Just the family. No friends, no extras. I want to clear the air. So, I let them come. One last time. They all showed up looking stiff, like they were about to sit for a job interview. Dana tried to smile, but her eyes were puffy. Melissa wore full makeup like she was on TV. Sean wouldn't meet my eye. Barbara had that martyr face on, lips tight, shoulders raised, like she'd been personally wounded. I didn't offer drinks, didn't turn on music, just sat down at the dining table and waited. Barbara went first, of course. Eric, this isn't like you. I don't know what came over you, but we're your family. We love you. You don't act like it, I said flatly. Sean leaned forward. It's not that deep, dude. We were just messing around. You know how our family jokes. I nodded slowly. Right, joking. Melissa rolled her eyes. Are you seriously still mad about a pie? I'm mad about 10 years of being treated like crap, I said. And lucky for you, I have the proof. That shut them up. I pulled out my phone, tapped open my YouTube drafts, and hit play on the Christmas Eve prep footage. I record all my grill sessions. Originally for a small cooking channel I never really promoted. Cameras set up in the corner of the patio. Catches audio from the kitchen too. Turns out it caught everything. I turned the volume up, let it roll. Melissa's voice came through first. At least this will taste decent. Laughter followed. Dana's. Then Barbara. Did you use whole milk? They look a little stiff. Sean. Hope it's cool. I brought some people. Barbara again. He gets all flustered when it's not perfect. Just ignore him. Melissa. God, he takes himself so seriously. The room was dead quiet. Melissa turned pale. Her lipstick stood out like a bad Halloween costume. Barbara's jaw clamped so tight I thought I heard it pop. Even Sean looked away. Dana stared at the floor, not saying a word. I let the video play for another few seconds, then paused it, slid the phone back into my pocket. That's how you all talk when you think I'm not listening. Nobody said a damn thing. I stood up. Dinner's in the fridge. Reheat it however you want. I'm done. I walked past them, grabbed my keys, and left them sitting there like guests at a wake. They didn't follow. For once, nobody chased me down or tried to spin it. Maybe because the truth had their tongues tied. Or maybe, finally, they knew there was nothing left to say. I didn't answer a single text after that night. Didn't return a call. Didn't even open the group chat. Let it rot. No Sunday dinners, no cookouts, nothing. I ghosted them all for 3 straight months. Easter rolled around, and Dana tried to pick up where I left off. First time hosting anything in years. I watched her move around the kitchen the night before, clumsy, second-guessing everything. She couldn't even find the meat thermometer because I'd always handled it. I didn't offer help, just sat on the couch, beer in hand, and watched. The day itself, total disaster. Barbara showed up early, of course, and immediately started poking around like it was her house. "Oh, you glazed the ham? I usually skip that. Too sweet." She said it loud enough for the neighbors to hear. Melissa walked in 5 minutes later, gave the living room a once-over, and said, "This centerpiece looks like Hobby Lobby exploded." Sean showed up 20 minutes late, no explanation, with a couple of hungover friends dragging their feet behind him. Dana held it together for a while, but I saw the cracks, the forced smile. the twitch in her jaw when Barbara asked for salt. Because the potatoes are bland, the way her hands shook when she poured wine. She finally sat down, picked at her plate, and barely spoke. That night, after everyone left, she found me on the back porch. She didn't say anything at first, just stood there, wrapped in a blanket, arms tight around her chest. Then she said, real soft, I didn't know how bad it was. I didn't respond, didn't even look at her. She walked closer. They were awful. I was running around like crazy, and they just, her voice cracked, picked everything apart. Still, I said nothing. She sat down beside me, stared at the grill like it was a gravestone. I thought you were overreacting. I really did. Yeah, I finally said. I know. I'm sorry, she whispered. I nodded once. That was all I could give her. I wasn't ready to forgive. Not yet. Maybe not ever. From there, it was like watching a circus where every clown tried to run the show. Melissa hosted next. Burned the chicken, forgot the napkins, got into a fight with Sean before dessert. Then Sean took a turn. Tried grilling frozen steaks on a propane burner he clearly didn't know how to use. Barbara complained the whole time, asked if anyone else was really missing Eric's ribs right about now. They rotated through birthdays, Mother's Day, a couple Sunday dinners, all awkward, all borderline unmanageable. Paper plates, cold sides, no music, no flow. Everyone sitting stiff like co-workers, forced into a potluck. And me, I just sat back and watched. Like I'd stepped out of the storm and finally saw how crazy it had been. The thing they never understood was, I didn't need their compliments. I didn't want praise. I just wanted respect, the bare minimum. They couldn't even give that. Now they were stuck trying to recreate what I gave them for years, and it was crumbling in their hands. A couple weeks later, Melissa tried again. Spaghetti night. Her idea of easy hosting. She texted everyone a photo of the sauce bubbling on the stove, all proud of it, like she was running an Italian bistro out of her townhouse kitchen. Dana went, of course. I stayed home. She asked if I wanted to come. I just gave her a look and went back to my beer. She didn't push. Later that night, Dana came home shaking her head, said, "You're not going to believe what happened." Turns out, Barbara tasted the sauce, made a face, and said, "Did you use jarred tomatoes? It's kind of flat." Real smug, like she was doing Melissa a favor by pointing it out. And Melissa, the same Melissa who mocked my food for years, lost it. She didn't just snap, she detonated. Walked to the stove, yanked the pot off the burner, and dumped the entire thing into the sink. Sauce splashed everywhere. Cabinets, counters, Barbara's blouse. Melissa looked her dead in the eye and said, "Next time, cook it yourself." Silence. Nobody moved, nobody laughed. Even Sean kept his mouth shut for once. Dana said the air in that kitchen was so thick she almost walked out without her coat. And me? I couldn't lie. I smiled. Not out of spite, out of recognition. Finally, someone else felt it. The weight, the pressure, the slow, grinding effect of never being good enough for that family. And it broke her. 2 Sundays later, it was Barbara's turn again. She tried to play hostess like the old days. Took on too much, wouldn't let anyone help. Said she had it under control. Spoiler, she didn't. She left the roast in the oven while she gabbed with Melissa and forgot about it completely. It came out gray and shriveled like a dried-out sponge. She started carving, talking through it, pretending nothing was wrong, and that's when Melissa said it. She tilted her head, raised an eyebrow, and hit her with my old line. "Well, at least this'll taste good." Dana told me later, Barbara froze, knife in hand, then just dropped it on the platter and walked out of the room. 5 minutes later, they heard her crying in the upstairs bathroom. Sean laughed, like actually laughed. Not a chuckle, a full-on holy shit laugh. Said something like, "Guess the apron's cursed." Dana didn't laugh. Said she just sat there feeling like the whole family had imploded. That night, she came home quiet, dropped her purse on the counter, sank into the couch beside me. "They're falling apart without you," she said. I shrugged. Not my problem. She looked at me, but I didn't give her anything else. And honestly, I meant it. I didn't say it to be cruel. I said it because it was true. For years I'd carried the load, smiled through the jabs, cleaned up after the chaos, made sure everyone had seconds, had drinks, had somewhere to sit. I'd filled every crack, patched every hole. Now that I was gone, they were finally seeing what held it all together. The group chat went silent after that. No more Sunday plans, messages, no photos, no potluck spreadsheets. For the first time in years, they didn't know what to do, and I was fine with that. I didn't need them to collapse. I just needed them to stop pretending I didn't matter. I pulled into the driveway that Saturday, saw Dana's car, and figured she was home early from errands. What I didn't expect was to open my front door and find Barbara, Sean, and Melissa sitting in my living room like they owned the place. Dana was in the middle of the couch, hands folded in her lap, eyes on the floor. They all turned when I walked in. Barbara spoke first, that fake warm tone already in full swing. "Eric, we just wanted to talk." I didn't even shut the door behind me. "You've got 5 seconds to explain why the hell you're in my house." Sean shifted awkwardly but didn't say a word. Melissa leaned forward, elbows on her knees, like she was trying to look sincere. "It's not the same without you. You know that." Barbara followed up, arms crossed. "You're being selfish. This has gone on long enough." I looked at Dana. She still hadn't said a thing. I walked in slow, stopped in front of her, and asked, "Did you invite them here?" She didn't look up, didn't say no, just froze. That was all I needed. I exhaled once, sharp through my nose. "All right, I want a divorce." The room snapped silent. Dana finally looked up. "Eric, what? Come on, don't do this." I shook my head. "Don't tell me what to do. You let them ambush me in my own house." "I just thought if we all talked, maybe—" "No," I cut her off. "You didn't think. You hoped I'd cave. You sat there and watched them walk in here like this was some intervention, and you let it happen." Barbara stood up, voice rising. "You're throwing away your marriage over a misunderstanding?" "No," I said. "I'm throwing it away because I'm done being disrespected in my own home, by my own wife." Melissa got up next. "Jesus, Eric, you've made your point. You're punishing everyone over some bruised ego." That almost made me laugh. "Bruised ego?" I stepped toward her, calm but sharp. "You called my food garbage. You mocked my effort. You showed up late, empty-handed, with attitude every time. I gave you 10 years of free meals and family time, and all I got in return was shit talk and rolled eyes." She stepped back. Barbara tried again, voice tight. "You don't mean this. You're upset." "You're right," I said. "I am upset. That's why I mean every word." I pointed to the door. "Now get out, all of you." Nobody moved for a second. "Eric, please," Dana started. "No," I snapped. "You picked your side the second you let them in." Sean, who hadn't spoken once, finally stood up and muttered, "Let's go." Melissa grabbed her purse. Barbara didn't look at me as she walked past. Dana stayed seated, eyes wet now, lips trembling. "You don't mean divorce." "I do." And I did. When the door shut behind them, I stood there in the quiet. 2 weeks after they showed up in my living room, I filed the papers. Dana cried, begged, said she didn't mean to take sides, but she did. Silences aside, she swore up and down she never meant for it to go this far. She just wanted peace, just wanted things to go back to normal. I told her normal was dead the second she let her family ambush me. I packed my stuff that weekend, left the grill behind, not out of spite, but because it belonged to that version of me. The guy who hosted out of obligation, the guy they walked all over. I got a new place across town, quiet neighborhood, good shade in the backyard. Bought myself a new smoker, just for me. Sleek, black, custom temp gauges, real wood burning. No fingerprints on it but mine. Barbara mailed a letter. Said she regretted how things were handled. Claimed she never meant to be ungrateful. I didn't finish reading it. Dropped it in the trash with the rest of the junk mail. Melissa texted once. Something short. "Hope you're good." I blocked her. Sean didn't say a word. That was fine. I'd had enough of him long before the first cold beer he never brought to my cookouts. That Christmas, Dana tried hosting again. I heard it was rough. Dry turkey, no playlist, awkward energy. Melissa showed up late. Sean forgot the wine. Barbara apparently made her own mashed potatoes. And they were lumpy. I wasn't there. I was up in Boone, sitting in my buddy Rick's cabin with a glass of bourbon in one hand and ribs slow smoking over real wood outside on the porch. Snow in the trees, quiet, no chaos, no fake smiles or backhanded comments, just peace. 10 years I gave those people. 10 years of cooking, cleaning, planning, carrying the whole thing on my back. And for what? So they could laugh at me, take me for granted, treat me like a weekend employee who never clocked out? Nah, never again. In the end, walking away was the best move I ever made. Not just from Dana, from all of them. Now, I host when I want. For people who actually show up on time, say thank you, bring something, and don't act like they're at a restaurant. No one expects anything from me anymore. No one feels entitled to my time, my food, or my patience.